Hey guys, good evening. I'm Thammuselvan Bharati. It is August 31st. Hopefully you guys are working out. I'm walking outside my home. Nowadays I've been doing these walks twice a day, the morning and the evening. And I have 3 dogs. I'm walking all of them. And I've also been talking about, some medical stuff in the past week because one of my friends had cardiac arrest, but you know what, his wife started CPR and he survived it, so I'm happy about it. So that's what we've been talking in the past several days. My talk has been of poor quality because I'm all over the place. I had to take care of the dogs, and then I had to look at all the people that are coming in the street, and then make sure that my dog doesn't really go run into them and stuff like that. But anyway, so today I want to continue the same topic. I want to talk about heart attacks. Okay, with regards to the heart, we can get all kinds of problems. There are some people whose heart rate is too slow. They keep fainting back and forth, and they end up with pacemakers. There are some people whose heart beats too fast, like atrial fibrillation, and they need medications for that. And so let's not go into any of that. We'll just focus on blood supply to the heart, okay? And then the fact that when blood supply gets cut off to the heart, like because of a clot in the coronary arteries, then people can have acute heart attack, and that causes cardiac arrest. So just some basics, okay? So, even though the heart is filled with blood, all the chambers of the heart, they get filled with blood, heart is not capable of taking oxygen from that blood, okay? Just like any other organ in the body, the heart needs arteries to supply blood to its muscles. So every organ in the body, they all have their own arterial supply. So similarly, the heart needs its own arteries, and those arteries are called as coronary arteries. Let me flip the camera. I need to make sure that Icy follows me because Icy is way behind. Icy! Look at Icy, guys. He's a funny guy. Do you see him coming over there so far? So lazy. He's so lazy, and he's got a very sedentary lifestyle. So I worry about Icy because he's a perfect setup for heart attacks. Like in humans, when you have diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, if you're a smoker, male sex, and the females after menopause. So that puts you at a high risk. All these risk factors, they predispose you to heart attacks because you start getting cholesterol buildup inside your coronary arteries. Anyway, let me flip the camera. Okay, let's continue walking. So the heart has its own, arterial blood supply, and the arteries that supply the heart, they are called as coronary arteries, and there are 3 of them. Okay, they are the main arteries. Okay, and with the first one, let's say left anterior descending artery, and the second one, that's left circumflex, and the third artery is right coronary artery. As the name implies, the right coronary artery mainly supplies the right ventricle, and there are 2 ventricles in the heart, right? The left ventricle and the right ventricle. The right ventricle supplies blood, it pumps blood into the lungs. So right coronary artery supplies the right ventricle, and then left ventricle, that's the largest muscle mass in the heart, that pumps blood, hey, so the left ventricle pumps blood to the entire body, and that's the largest of the muscle mass within the heart, and that's got 2 arteries, okay, the left anterior descending artery and left circumflex. So when these arteries develop blood clots within them, then that causes heart attack. And most of the time, the blood clots, occur inside these coronary arteries because there's cholesterol buildup on the lining of the heart coronary arteries. And then when these cholesterol plaques, when they rupture, then that sets up a clotting cascade, and then that just completely blocks the heart blood vessel. And when that happens, then people have heart attacks. And when they have heart attacks, it could affect the entire part of the muscle that particular artery supplies, or it could just affect a little part of it based on the location of the clot. And at the time of acute heart attack, when people are having acute heart attack, that's when they are so prone to develop sudden ventricular fibrillation, which means the ventricles start fibrillating. And when they fibrillate, it's at a too fast of a rate. Think about this. Let me explain. See, when normal heart pumps, let's say 60 times a minute. So it pumps, squeezes, and then it relaxes. And then when it relaxes, there is enough time for blood to come inside it, okay? And then it pumps again. And when it relaxes, it takes more blood and then pumps, okay? And then in the body, there's about 6 liters of blood, couple of gallons of blood, total blood. And the heart is capable of just circulating all of this in a minute. So in about 1 minute, the heart is normal heart is capable of pumping all this blood one time throughout the entire body. So your heart is just squeezing like that. But when you're fibrillating, it's not a regular slow contraction. It's too fast. It's like this. So you don't even have enough time for the heart to relax. So when there's not enough time for the heart to relax, to take in blood, how can the heart pump blood out? Because it didn't even relax enough to get blood, get itself filled with blood. So when it didn't relax enough, then it can't pump blood out. And then when it cannot pump any blood out, that's when those patients become pulseless. So they don't have any pulse. That's code blue situation. So that's when, the bystander has got to check and make sure that there's no pulse, and they have to quickly start CPR. And, in my video yesterday, I talked about a single rescuer CPR where, there's just one person and they don't even have enough help to do CPR. And so it's just one person. Like husband and wife, they're sitting on their couch and watching TV, and one of them suddenly, has some chest discomfort, like a, heart attack, and then they die. And then the other one has to quickly do CPR. So I explained about what to do, in that situation in yesterday's video. So today we basically, to recapitulate what we talked about the fact that there are 3 coronary arteries, left anterior descending artery, left circumflex artery, and they supply the left ventricle. And then the right coronary artery supplies your right ventricle. And when there's a blood clot inside these arteries, that causes heart attack situation. So that's what it is, guys. And then we'll continue to talk about these, okay? Just a little bit. When I walk, I like to talk. And hopefully, you are on your treadmill or something and you're just watching these videos. And let's learn from each other and let us spread love. Okay, guys? I am Tamil Selvan Bharati and I'm signing off. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.